when we are born, we don't choose our name. We don't choose the path that we're getting right now. Like if you're being raised by your parents, you didn't choose that. So at a certain point, you need to drop the ego and understand that like you're wrong. There is something wrong there. You need to put your own patterns. How I see it is just like there's no good or bad. Yeah. It's just how it goes. You just need to live the experience and go on. Then learning a bunch of stuff, the rule, fuck the rules. It's part of the system. And I'm all against it. Like you, talking a little about the book is called The Glitch in the Game of Life.
Welcome back to the Billionaire Podcast. We're here in Miami with Glen Musk, right? Big up, bro. So Glen Musk is a real estate entrepreneur, and he's going to actually tell us about his journey, about some of the projects that he's actually working on, and how he actually got started, where he's at in his journey now, and where he's looking to go, right? So Glen, welcome to the Billionaire Podcast.
Thanks for having me, man.
And man, so let's start this off by, I know we're having some conversations earlier, and I realized that, and you said something specific, right? That we're a reflection of each other.
Yes.
That's what you said, right? Because it's like we're talking and there's just so much that we could actually relate to, because you're into Forex and cryptos too, while you're trading, while you're doing real estate as well. Right.
Well, I'm into a lot. As you mentioned before that you have a couple companies. I actually have a company as well, and I can't really call myself like the podcaster or the influencer because I'm also writing a book. So you can call me anything. We are just entrepreneurs.
So you're an entrepreneur.
Yes, we do it all. I want to be diversified, and there is certain stuff like writing the book that I'm not doing it for business. I'm not doing it for money. It's just I want people to know the information that I have in my head.
Yeah.
It's actually they're reading my mind.
Yeah.
So who knows? That book could make me millions, and I'm not even expecting for it. I just put myself in that position, Yeah,
you're putting out a certain energy,
yes.
Putting out certain work, and then over time, things will come back to you in its own way, right?
Exactly.
But before we actually dive into the book and all of that, I wanted to let the audience know who you are, where you're from, what you're about, and then we can actually because I have a bunch of questions to ask you, because I'm actually getting into real estate in the US right now.
Nice.
And a few persons have actually sent me some questions that I actually want to ask specifically to. Even like whenever we're traveling, right? We stay at the best properties. The price don't really matter to us because you're
looking at the experience.
Yeah, the experience. We're looking to have the best experience possible, the highest level of experience, right? And you were even showing me something. I saw it, and then you were explaining to me that, this is in Aspen, and this is this mansion there, and whatever, right? But
that was an experience. Let me tell you, that was a whole experience, and it was my first time skiing, so I totally loved it. But if you want, I can start with my story, as you said, and so everybody can know me, and you can know about me. I'm from Venezuela. I came when I was 14 years old, and I came with my mom.
Yeah.
So I was pretty like normal mindset, just like going to school. I actually learned the educational system, and I didn't like it. I didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and started working. I started by getting jobs like server. Then there I learned English.
Yeah.
Then there I learned customer service. Then there I learned the hard work.
Yeah.
At that time I had just like a regular mindset. So I was going out, spending it on girls, on clubs, whatever. Just like I was trapped into the system. While working, I understood the financial system. I understood that I was exchanging my time for dollars, for just couple papers, because now I know how everything works, and it's just numbers. It's just numbers that they print every day. We need to learn how to obtain this money by providing value instead of just exchanging it for time.
Yeah.
I actually moved out my house when I was 17.
Yeah.
And I did a bunch of stuff that it has built me up. Thanks to that, I'm the man that I am today. But I had to come back to my parents' house. And I told them that I was gonna go to college because that's what they wanted to.
That's good.
And I was gonna study business.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, they didn't know I actually started the business without going to college.
Yeah.
And the business in itself teach me more than what college would have taught me, right? Because I went through a lot of struggles. I learned a lot about marketing. I learned a lot about sales. The business that I did, it was dog services. So I started like walking dogs. I was providing my time and my expertise in marketing to reach these clients and offer the services. All of a sudden, we got a bunch of volume in the
walking dogs industry.
Yeah, no, in the Google profile, and we ended up like getting all Soñados. I don't know if you're familiar with Miami, but Soñados is a whole island, and that's where Porsche, Bentley, like all these beer deals are located. And I had all these memberships that there were like $5,000 a month I was providing dog walkers and I was providing this service in my company. Like the first year we made over 6 figures. It was $200,000 a year in the second year. For me, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I was just 18 years old and I was like, wow, like I could literally do this. Yeah. And I actually missed a little switch. When I switched my mindset to start a business, it was because my mom took me to Colombia. She took me to a retreat. And the retreat was called Reborn. Yeah. And I actually did. It was like a session where I was with somebody and she was in ayahuasca. For me, how I see it now, is like she was in a high frequency state where she actually, I don't know if she brainwashed me, she made me see something. Yeah. And when I saw that, I learned about the patterns that we have. And that's all that I just said. I'm gonna repeat myself. When we are born, we don't choose our name. We don't choose the path that we're getting right now. Like if you're being raised by your parents, you didn't choose that. So at a certain point, you need to drop the ego and understand that like you're wrong. There is something wrong there. You need to put your own patterns because you didn't decide that. Yeah. The stuff that you're doing, you don't decide that. Yeah. So that's when I started the business and everything around me just started changing. Just the year after, I moved back out of my parents' house, and now like I'm just focused on real estate. I'm focused on the long term. I'm focused on building relationships because I figure that the money it's not worth to just like focus on the money. The money, if you really believe in yourself and you're consistent, you can achieve any amount of money that you want. Yeah. But people, connections, experiences, that's what we take. Yeah. We take those connections that we made, and no connections like, oh, I met you, but that experience that we just had right now. Right now, this is an experience.
It's a cool vibe. You know?
Yes. Yeah. We don't do this every day. Yeah. So it's an experience. For me, an experience is something unique, something that you don't do it daily. Yeah. So yeah, that's a little bit about my story and about me.
All right, so look at this, right? You said your turning point was when your mom took you to a retreat in Colombia, right? What caused that to happen? Like, what caused you to, like, your mind to really shift? Because a lot of people go to networking events or whatever event it is, but their mind is still the same, right? Is in the same state. So what caused your mind to shift? Like, what was this event about? And, how did you really benefit from it so that your mind could actually really shift and be where it's at right now?
When I went there, it wasn't really like an event. It was literally a retreat where it was kind of like the jungle. Imagine the jungle. We were literally like in a big house, and we were doing this with my mom, my stepfather, and I. They got me inside a blanket. I was all wrapped up, and this lady, she was just talking to me, and we were like meditating. She told me close my eyes. She told me a bunch of stuff, and I wasn't talking. I was just listening. And she told me to do some breathing work, some breathing technique. And I believe now that I understand the mind and the brain waves, all this vibration stuff. I believe she put me in the same state she was. And then while she was talking, she made me reborn. Literally, that's what I was feeling. I was wrapped up like I was in my mom's belly, and they opened up after everything was done, and it was I don't know how to explain it. It was just an experience.
Like you were, as the event name, reborn.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that. I literally reborn the same way. You know, it was act up, but all I know is if the mind believes it, it comes to reality.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Like I literally put my own patterns. Now I decide what I want.
Yeah. So let me ask you, in terms of like the dog walking business that you had, do you still have it right now?
Yeah, actually, one of the partners that I have, they're a small company. They were a small company, and then we merged.
Yeah.
So I'm providing the value of the marketing, the brand, all that stuff, and they are doing operations management, and they're taking care of the business. You know, the clients, all that.
So you're basically delegating and partnering and delegating.
Yeah. They also delegate. So they actually want to buy my part, and I'm thinking about doing it so I can focus more on my stuff, my brand, my real estate, like my clients as well.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, there is some stuff that you need to analyze and see that you're just being busy with those companies. Maybe they are doing some cash flow, but what if you put your time into your main business, your brand, or whatever you're focused on in the long term?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking of right now. I'm thinking about the long term. It's like, why am I need to focus right now so I'm not like wasting my time here and there?
Yeah.
You know?
I actually learned that as well too, where I used to focus on so many different things. I want to get into so many different things as an entrepreneur,
Yes.
like diversifying a portfolio.
Yes.
But then I realized that not because everyone for example, every financial book says you should have 7 streams of income, means you should actually have 7 different streams, right?
Exactly.
So my thing is, what I've done for myself is that each stream of income that I create is related to something that I already have going on. So it's just an extension of that main thing. So it's not like a difficult thing. So imagine I'm moving from trading Forex to walking dogs, for example. That would probably be
that makes no sense. You need to level up.
Yeah. And then or even like boat services and stuff like that. You know, but how did you move from like walking dogs as a business to
let me tell you that story. So actually, when I did those 200 grand that I mentioned before, I had another partner that was like basically my brother. It was a guy I met here when I came to United States. We went to high school together. We used to talk all the time. He was about to become a pilot. Through all this time that I told you my story, he was starting to be a pilot. And in the last exam he had to just have the license, I took him out and I was like, brother, you're gonna be my business partner. We're gonna kill it. And we did. He was hustling with me all the time. He was networking with me. We got to a point that we found investors, and I had a whole situation where we had miscommunication. So he told me like, oh, I have a better opportunity, whatever. I might drop this company and I'm doing something else. And I was like, brother, whatever, like if you got something better, I got you. You know, I'm gonna find somebody, just give me some time, whatever. And then he took all my clients. I signed him off the contract, the partnership, and he took all the clients. He took actually the investor that was talking to us to invest in the company. So that was a little setback I had. And when we were at the top, he was like managing everything. So I was already delegating the management, and I knew how to do the marketing.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was dedicated to real estate. I was with my broker doing sales and learning all that, learning about the management and short-term rentals. That I'm not really into it. I know the people and we work together. We're in the same company, but it's different branches. Yeah. Like there is sales and that's management for short-term rentals. And yeah, I mean, when that happened, I had to find another partner because I had the business. I created the business from zero, from scratch. So he wasn't going to do anything to me. Maybe he got the investors, maybe he can learn, maybe he can hustle about it. But I know what I did, I built it from scratch. I taught him everything I knew. I spent mentors, I spent masterminds, I spent mentors to teach me about business planning, tax planning, all that, and I give it all to him. So he got a bunch of knowledge from me, he got a bunch of stuff. And I'm not gonna talk about bad about him or anything. It's just an experience that I'm telling you that I went through. And how I see it is just like, there is no good or bad. It's just how it goes. You just need to live the experience and go on. Because if you just look at the thing and you're like there, you're not gonna move on. You're not gonna keep leveling up. Yeah. And I mean, that's how I actually started on real estate. I had my first business that gets me the time to invest knowledge and money into real estate.
So how did you actually move? All right, so you said that, you had an initial partner when you just started real estate, right? And then it was a situation where that partnership split. Yeah. You lost the investor, you lost your clients, and you were just there, right? So how did you move on, or how were you able to actually move on and start rebuilding? Like, what was your process of doing that?
Well, being honest with you, the first month and two, it was hard. And it wasn't because of the money, because it took a lot of monthly revenue. But it wasn't just because of the money, it was also because of the relationship. Yeah. It was hurtful. Imagine like you're doing business with a family member and he just do that, But no, for me, he was literally my brother. We were in a brotherhood. We had a whole plan where we're going to invest into real estate. We were going to do all this together. It wasn't like, you get that piece and I'm doing real estate now. No, I was like, we were involved in the same thing. He had the same mindset. We had the same goal, the same vision. Yeah. But being honest with you, it all comes to the mind. I got my shit together. I literally stopped talking to my girl, stopped talking to my family. And I was like, you know what? I look at myself in the mirror, drop the ego, it's grind time. Yeah. It's the time to grind again. Yeah. And I had to stop a little bit for real estate. I had to lay off. While I was interviewing some small businesses, while I was, going here and there, I was handling the business myself. I had the employees, so I was busy. I wasn't able to meet people for real estate or prepare deals or do any structures at all. But that's it. It was hustle. It was putting my head down and just working. Yeah. That's how I got it back.
But like, what time? How long did it take though? Like, what time frame?
It wasn't long. It was like 3 months. It got me to get my clients back and get clients from those buildings, since the name of my company was in those buildings, so I could promote in those buildings. Okay. I had the control of all of it.
Okay, so what part of real estate do you focus on though? I know there's so many different parts.
So right now I'm focused on this level of working with a hedge fund. And also, I manage wealth through real estate. Yeah. So let's say that somebody comes to me right now and they have $100 million. So they're like, okay, I want to allocate it in real estate. And I'm like, okay, do you want to do this like in a high risk, low risk? We need to figure it out. What is your goal with this investment? Once we do that, we see where we allocate it. And I explain you everything from numbers. If you have your financial advisors, we send you everything. I'm trying to work with foreign clients because they want to allocate their money here. And also, I got a bunch of experience on legal structure. Yeah. So for example, if you want to create a hedge fund, if you need to have your own private bank. I don't know if you heard about the life insurance, how you can borrow yourself money. So all this stuff, we do it before buying the real estate. So we are structured and ready to buy the real estate and have it positioned in a way that nobody can touch it. Yeah. Because here's the thing. I also went through a lot of information that I pay for in this legal structure, and in changing my status. I'm actually a sovereign citizen, and that means that I can operate in the private and the public side. So you know how the dollar said this is a legal tender to pay on the private and the public. Yeah. So that means that there is basically two worlds in United States. You could be like an individual, or you can be a big corporation like them. And it's all structures. They're big companies into big companies into big companies, and that's how they're all structured. Yeah. And it's a whole system. And but that's basically what we do in real estate. We structure it so well that nobody knows that you own that. Nobody is able to take that or move that. You control it, but it doesn't look like you own it. That's the real wealth. That's with the stuff that I'm dealing right now.
Okay. Could you break for the audience, just to repeat, right? And because you said something specific, two specific things.
Yes.
One, and then I'm going to go into two, but being a sovereign citizen, how do you
How I got into that?
Yeah, how did you get into that? How did you?
Well, being honest with you, I learned all this stuff, but I was telling these guys before, when you're doing something, you don't need to be the smartest person in the room, but you need the smartest person in your room. And that's what I did. No, I'm serious.
That's true. That's facts.
I'm serious. And that's what I did. I got somebody, I paid them like $10,000.
Yeah.
They taught me everything, but they also did the work for me. They structured the whole thing. Because here's the thing, your birth certificate, they own it. And when you're born, they do this paperwork and they claim it, because we don't do it. Nobody teaches us that we have to claim the birth certificate. Then when we come here, for example, and I'm an immigrant, and when you come here, you get a number, that's a social security number, right? That's how they identify you. That's how they track your financials. That's how they track what you own, everything. They track every single thing you have, right? And by becoming a sovereign, you have to create these structures of yourself to a point that you become a church. Yeah. That's like the safest way to keep your wealth. And all your businesses, what they're producing, the cash flow, they're donations. Yeah. So you don't have to pay taxes. You're basically safe from any lawsuits. Like, you have so much protection with all this stuff. That's like the ultimate level. I call the elites have.
Or nothing, control everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's taking control of your wealth. Yeah. Because, as I said, they have this social security number where they control everything. They see what you have, and if they don't fuck with you did something that they don't like, they can frozen your funds or whatever, because they control, like the banks, they control the money. Yeah. And this is why we need to diversify. Yeah. We need to also get decentralized. Yeah. This is why I like crypto, because you're decentralized. You can't really get my money if you don't know my wallet. Like, that's the only way that you could get it, right? Yeah. So I have full control of it. If I keep my wallet safe, I should be good, right? Yeah. And it's as easy as that. It's not complicated. It's not how the government does with a bunch of laws. You don't understand this, so they can fuck you over. That's basically how it works. We're in a matrix where nobody understands, nobody actually questions how it works. They're not like, why we work so much, why we are so poor, why we don't have the freedom of location, freedom of money, freedom of time. Yeah. Because they take your time. Yeah.
So let me ask you. I'm not a US citizen, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people that are not US citizens, right? Mm-hmm.
Me either. I mean, I got to the point to the green card. Yeah. And I didn't apply for the citizenship because of that, because I don't really want it.
Yeah. So look at this, right? For persons that are immigrants or persons that are coming into the US, because you say you deal with a lot of foreign investors or clients, right? Yes. That want to actually invest in the US, invest in real estate in the US, right? How do you manage that and the expectation of these clients? How do you get these investors to come on board, and how do you help them to transition here? Or is it that, it's a city, well, you have, for example, a lot of people overseas want to travel to the US, and they might want to go through like a business or a real estate visa, right? Which is an option, right?
Yes.
So do you help with those type of things, or is it just that you invest funds allocated to you from international clients in the US without them coming here or anything like that? What is the process like for you?
So this is why I focus on building relationships, because let's say that you have somebody interested, right? They have, let's say, $10 million. They want to invest here in the United States, and they don't want to come here. They just want to allocate their money in a safe way, in a safe way that they're going to make money and they don't have to pay taxes, and they can make cash flow. Because this is the thing with real estate. You can decide, once we find out what do you want to do with this investment, we can do it in any way. It's so many creative ways to do it on real estate, right? So once we figure that out, I tell them, okay, this is the game plan. We're gonna do a structure where I'm either taking the liability, or we're doing a structure for you that you're out there with a trust. So we will have to do a irrevocable trust a revocable trust, and a foreign trust for him. And like with that will be the basic to get an LLC and then get the property. You know what I mean? So all that's like the basic structure for somebody to keep their wealth here into real estate. And then, yeah, I mean, it's as easy as that. I mean, I don't make it complicated. I tell you how it works. We tell you the numbers. We tell you the deals that we have. They're risky. They're this, they're that. This is what I'm telling you. In real estate, it's more about numbers. Like, if you think about it, we all need a place to live.
Yeah.
So real estate is always gonna go up.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you can also make cash flow every month. These buildings that I'm telling you my hedge fund is buying, he told me the market right now, it's going to a point that nobody will be able to afford a house. And when I'm talking about nobody is the average, because that's the most of the people, like 99% of the people. They won't be able to afford a house. So what are these big investors doing? They're getting these big ass buildings where you cannot own the property, you just gotta pay for rent. And these buildings are gonna be cheaper, so people can actually afford it. As you can see, the rents are so high, like people are like, they can't afford to live in the same place, they need to downgrade, right? So this is what these big hedge funds are working on. And it's fun to work on these big deals because all I gotta do is just, build a relationship, get and shake some hands and do some numbers. And as I said, I get the smartest person in the room to go through these deals and show them all the numbers for the financial advisors. And I'm out here getting the deals and connecting with people. So it's a matter of where are you providing value in these deals, It's positioning yourself in the right place.
Yeah. So what would make real estate the ideal thing for somebody to invest in? Right now, wherever they are in the world, whether it be Venezuela, Colombia, Jamaica.
Where I suggest to invest?
No. What would make investing in real estate in the US an ideal thing? Whether it be the US or anywhere in the world. Whether a person be in Jamaica, Venezuela, Colombia, what are probably the top 5 reasons why a person should invest in real estate right now?
The top 5.
Probably top 3, top 5, whichever.
Well, first of all, for wealth preservation.
Yeah.
Because if you're for example, if you're an American and you own a property, you need to pay a bunch of taxes, right? And if you structure yourself right and you learn about real estate, you can preserve your wealth without having to pay high taxes and actually cash flowing with it. And there is something that is called capital gains. I'm sure you know about that. Yeah. So it's different benefits that you get from real estate. Also, I'm here located in Miami. Right now, Miami is the hottest spot. You know that.
It's hot for real.
Jeff Bezos just moved here. Yeah. Messi is living here. Everybody wants to be in Miami just because of the known people. Yeah. And also, just coming back to a topic of the system, I believe the Jewish, they have like this central, like this is their space. Yeah. They control everything from here. Yeah. For me, like they are the elites. Yeah. They are very powerful. Yeah. They're all united. They're basically their own religion, So for me, I think Florida is one of the safest places to invest, to live, to have a piece of real estate here, right? Because let's think about this home, for example, right? You can, I don't know if you own it, but if you own this property and you work with luxury, for example, they can rent this out. You can make money while you're in Jamaica, while you're there and here. And you're like, I'm going to be in August for 2 weeks, these days and these days. Yeah. So they know in the calendar, those days, the house is not available because it's yours. Yeah. And this is the power of real estate. In Miami, you can own properties like this, enjoy them whenever you can, and cash flow when you're not here. Yeah. You see the opportunity?
I see the opportunity. Because even like, for example, being in Miami, I really love Miami. Yeah. Right? And what I'm actually doing right now is that I'm actually speaking to realtors and I'm actually looking to, buy a couple spots and then re-rent them, Airbnb, and then still have a spot to stay when I'm here. Because really truly the rent for Miami, is like what over 10K. For the properties that I like, it's over 10K per month. Or on short visits, it's like the same. It's usually the same on short visits. So we'll be at different properties and we're spending over 10K, 15K on property. We got to have the best, wherever we go, we have to have the best, right? And just to see, okay, I could probably be spending 10 grand, which is less, versus 15 grand on short-term stays. So I'm saying, all right, let me get a couple properties for this amount. Let me re-rent them. Let me just calculate how much am I going to make on probably renting for like 15 days out of the month, right? And then, and I realized the culture of Miami too, where Miami is a place where, and I actually have a podcast with a real estate management company as well, right?
Nice.
Where what they do is different owners will give multiple persons properties.
Like crowdfunding?
Yeah, well, not crowdfunding, but different owners will give multiple persons properties to get bookings for.
Nice.
And then they just earn a commission off of it, right? So I'll just put the properties that I'm actually buying into these management companies and then have the management companies earn a commission.
Exactly. That's what I'm telling you Luxury does. They're a management company for luxury properties.
Yeah.
So their properties range from $2,000 a night to $20,000 a night. And they're luxury properties where they even have a gym inside the property. Yeah. So these are the kind of stuff we deal with.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so you're into like real estate management as
well? That's what I'm telling you. When I started on luxury, I started on sales as a realtor. Yeah. And I was getting clients, actually investors, to invest on luxury properties so they can manage it. And now they have over 800 million under management. Yeah. There is so many properties that we have in Miami, Aspen, and LA. Yeah. So those are the hotspots that we have right now for luxury.
I would love to check out the Aspen spot you were telling me about.
Brother, you will love it. I'm telling you, it's a whole experience that whenever it's snowing, you should definitely rent it out.
We're gonna talk about it because that's like probably this November, December time. Right, and then you were explaining to me like the experience of how you actually got that property. So you could just dive into that from like how you got into that Aspen property, or you went to what is it?
There's snowmobiles.
It was not snowmobile. It was
no, skis.
Skiing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to tell you a story?
I want to know the story.
So when I went there, I went with the whole team. Yeah. The house has 16 bedrooms. So we were more than 16 people because some people were with their spouse and So there was like around 27 to 35 people in the house for a week. Yeah. We were all together. It was such a fun time. The house had pool, had ping pong, had a whole theater, had a gym, had 3 different kitchens. Like, it's huge. It's like it's actually 5 floors. Yeah. There is a jacuzzi at the top where you saw my video.
That was a cool video though.
No, man, it's huge. This house is huge. And we had such a fun time. We connected with a bunch of people. Actually, I understood the market in a place like Colorado is just different. The prices over there, like the cheapest property, I'm telling you, like an ugly ass property is small. Like it's literally a pack of cigarettes. It's so small. Yeah. And it's $2 million. So the market there is different.
Aspen.
Yes, Aspen.
Yeah.
So I met a lot of people, and all these people, they're in that season. They just go there for that season. Yeah. So they own a property there just to go for a month or two. And these people have like those properties are like the third or fourth house. Yeah. So I got the experience to meet like really, really high-end people. They are not known. There are no influencers. They're wealthy people here in America.
Private.
Yeah, exactly. They're on the low. Nobody knows them, And I mean, the experience was incredible. It was my first time skiing. Yeah. And it was funny because the person who was teaching me, it was his second time doing it. Yeah. And so we both were learning. Yeah. And I was like, brother, no worries, like just be positive. And like I fall the whole day. Like the first day I just fall. I literally paid $400 to fall in snow all day. Yeah. And then the next day I was like, I'm gonna do it again. Fuck it, like why not? I got this. And I didn't fall once. I actually like record myself. I was just enjoying skiing. It was pretty cool. So it's just about the mindset, to be honest. Like,
in terms of networking with those wealthy people, like to even be able to go to Aspen, right? And, have property that are at a higher value, a person's fourth home. How did you actually manage, to actually start networking like that? To start nurturing the relationships that you actually make and to actually maintain them right now so they can actually probably do business with them or have access to more properties like that or their friends as well, their social group?
Well, I maintain those relationships because I understood the power of your reputation. You start building a reputation where people get to know you by a certain persona, right? And this is what you do and this is how you are. And like, if, as I said before, if you provide value to somebody, that's all you need to create a really strong relationship.
Yeah.
So coming back to when I had my business partners, the first one, and I had the time to start in real estate, I went to F1, and that's where I met the owner of Luxury. It was like, 3-4 years ago. And he told me like, get started in real estate, like let's do sales, let's do this, let's do that. And I was like, yeah, I'm down. I got the license. It's funny because I pay for it. Like people, no, I'm serious. Like these realtors really like study for this. Like I got somebody, they hacked my computer and to do the test, they were doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, like the stuff that they teach you is just a bunch of crap you don't even use. It's not the experience that you need.
Yeah.
I got more experience like going out there and meeting people and learning about the deals than learning a bunch of stuff. Fuck the rules. It's part of the system. And I'm all against it. Like you, talking a little about the book. The book is called The Glitch in the Game of Life.
Yeah, The Glitch in the Game of. When is it going to be released?
I would say like 2 months. I'm almost done.
I'm buying the first copy.
What?
Just let me know. I'm buying
Of course. I will get it to you.
Yeah.
And so, I started building these relationships young, and I believe that's the best thing you could do. You could build your network, and that will be your net worth.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Where do you see the real estate market going in the next year or two?
Well, being honest with you, it depends where, because I see the whole world, and for example, now this year with elections and all that, before elections, we're gonna be okay. After elections, I really don't know. Yeah, because being honest with you, like for me, there is something else controlling the whole economy, controlling everything. It's not just the president or the economy in itself. I believe there is bigger powers, right? So what I will tell you right now is that it could take a hit, but not in Florida or nearby, because as you could see, or I don't know if you heard, but a bunch of people from New York, a bunch of people from California, they sold there and they're coming here, they're coming down here. Yeah. This is why we have so many constructions everywhere. Like there's so many buildings right now. Yeah. And I believe like Miami is gonna be all a congestion, like a bunch of people together. But I see like everybody like coming down here. Yeah. So I don't think like Miami or Florida is gonna be affected by whatever happens.
I was even talking to some guys in New York, right? And they're basically shipping out cars out here. Now I'm heavily into cars as well, right? So they're shipping a lot of cars out here and they're moving out here. So that kind of reminded me of a conversation that I was having where, a lot of people are actually looking at Florida right now. I'm looking at Florida, right? And they're actually moving cars because it's better for car rentals, for example. It's better for villa rentals. It's better networking, really. It's warm, right? Most places you go, it's very hot, And like Florida is just an overall vibe. And I see the construction because I was even saying to somebody yesterday, like, oh, so much construction going on here. But it didn't even click really. But you're actually making it click right now, So do you think you said that the market is going to crash? Probably like within the next 2, 3, 5 years.
You know what I think? It won't crash, but just like the stock market, it will do a correction.
A correction.
It might do a correction, and it's not, as I said before, like we all need a house, we all need somewhere to live. So it's not as liquid at a stock market or a company. They can just go bankrupt. But as I mentioned before, Florida, I believe is like we have like our own economy. Like the reality that we have here is not the same one that we have in Aspen, as I mentioned. Like the market is not even the same. So this is why I believe that they could take a hit, but we won't. Like we won't take as a hard hit like they will.
Yeah. So do you think it's a situation like what happened in 2008 where...
Something like 2008, it's what we could expect.
All right, so that means that people are hearing this first time on the Billionaire Podcast.
I mean, listen, we need to structure ourselves right, as I mentioned before. Once we're structured well, and that opportunity comes around, because let's be honest, when situations comes, it all depends on how you look at it. It depends how you react. And if you see it as opportunity, or you see it as everything is going down, we're gonna like die, the world's gonna end, like, okay, that's what's happening to you. But I'm looking at opportunities and how I'm gonna invest my money into this real estate. There isn't a discount. Like I need to buy more, you know? And just it's the way that you react to it. That's like, how I see it.
For example, in COVID-19, when like a lot of people were selling properties, I was actually buying the properties in Jamaica, right? And that's a part of, for example, how I reacted to that negative in society, because a lot of people were complaining about losing jobs or not being able to pay their rent or pay their mortgage on properties. And there's a lot of properties going up for foreclosures and stuff like that. I was just taking advantage of as much as possible.
Exactly.
Right? And I know a lot of people that actually got super rich off of doing the same thing in the US and other countries as well, right? So I want to ask you, because you have you have real estate sales in terms of like buying and selling, and you have real estate in terms of like, you know, renting out properties or leasing. Right? Yeah,
short-term rentals. You could call it Airbnb. It's the same thing, but it's private. It's the only thing. We have built a brand. Just like I mentioned, I built the SEO on my business. It's the same thing Luxury did. They build a brand and a clientele where we always have people coming to us. Actually, Luxury just acquired a hotel in Miami Beach. So now we have hotels, now we have houses, and the clients, we take them in a whole experience to purchase this. As I said, we build relationships at this point to figure what they want, because we could do, let's put an example, right? We could do a property that right now it looks like crap. And we do some renovations right there, we just added value. So right there we make money. And then after, we put it to rent. Because the thing is that Luxury actually need more houses. They have so much demand, and they can't. Okay, you know about supply and demand. If they got so much demand and they don't have enough demand, even that they have a lot, that means that we're going to keep growing. They're actually planning to become a hedge fund to acquire, like, I'm telling you, like 10 to 20 to 50 like a month to manage these properties. And I mean, I see that Florida is bullish.
So which part of real estate do you prefer? Do you prefer renting or do you prefer buying and selling?
Buying and selling.
Why?
Definitely. Because when you own, you actually take cash flow and revenue. Like even if you have to pay management fee, even if you have to pay a mortgage, because that's what I suggest. I suggest you to borrow money. I suggest you to use, if you can. I don't know, because you told me you're in the US. I don't know if you have access to credit. Do you?
I have access to business credit.
That's what you need. Because that's where you get the big money. And actually, like, look, I'm partnered up with a friend of mine. He got a credit company, and that's what we do. Like, we teach people about credit, so anybody can invest in real estate, so they can all get started. Because there is a bunch of people that they don't know. They're all trapped in the 9 to 5 or whatever job they have, and like the only way to escape is by investing yourself or adding value in the market, right? Yeah. And if they're adding houses, they own something, there's creating cash flow, there is appreciating. So, and also they don't pay taxes. They can avoid taxes. If they have a business and they have a structure, they can avoid taxes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they're escaping the system. They're not average anymore. Yeah. That's where I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to focus on.
I know you enjoyed this video, but Pro Traders Fund is offering traders more capital to trade. So you don't have to use your own money. You're able to trade risk-free, keep up to 90% of the profits you make, plus you're able to withdraw weekly, bi-weekly, instantly. You're able to trade on your own comfort anywhere in the world, right? So visit the link in the description, visit Pro Traders Fund, get funded today, start trading risk-free, Pro Traders Fund.
On building a community of people that anybody can invest in real estate. It's not only millionaires and hedge funds and all that. That's all good. But I also want to contribute because I come from nothing, and I want everybody to get into the wave. You know, get into escaping the average.
Yeah. Do you focus on in terms of the clients that you focus on? Do you focus on somebody that is, a beginner that just want to get into real estate? Or do you focus on well-experienced real estate investors?
Personally, I focus on the structure and getting the deals. So what does that mean? I will put everything together. I'm putting the structure of the person. I'm putting the value that we're gonna, once we figure out the plan, we're gonna figure, okay, we're gonna get land, right? And we're gonna construct. That's gonna take 3 years. No, we're gonna get a property that we're gonna renovate. That's gonna take 3 months. We're gonna start, after that, we're gonna start renting it. So it's all about the plan, and that's what I come in. I figure the plan with you. I come in, do the structure. Then from my connections, I need to see, okay, this deal works for what he's looking for. And this other deal is what he's looking for. And then from there, we start working with a construction company if we're fixing it, or if we're doing it 3 years, still we need a construction company to do the whole house. So all this stuff, I work it together. What I just mentioned about the credit and all that stuff, I don't worry about that. I'm not fixing credits, but my buddy, he's doing all that. He got his company and he he helps people get the credit, get the house, and I got them to get the good deal, start structuring and getting out of the system. That's how I call it.
So because what I was really asking, just for further clarity, right?
Yes.
Is so I do understand that strategy, right? But what I was asking is in terms of a person wanting to invest into your or in some real estate right now, and you're supposed to guide them, right? Is it that you focus on is it that you accept a lot of beginners who have no experience into it and just want to come in, they have the capital? Do you accept only persons who are well experienced already coming in? How do you find the persons that are actually going to invest in your fund, and how do you decide, okay, I'm going to work with this person versus the other? Is it a certain amount of capital required? Is it a certain level of experience required? What is the requirement for somebody to actually come and be like, hey, I'm going to give you capital to manage? Or but a lot of people watch this podcast right now and they're like, okay, I want to get into this. A person in Venezuela, for example, watch it, see you and be like, hey, Glen is doing well, right? I want to get into real estate just like he's into real estate. Right. So what would be the requirement for them to get in under you and under your guidance and to have access to the credit and the knowledge and everything that you have access to right now?
Well, right now, I'm not asking for any requirements because this is where I come in and I do it personally if it's a huge client, because I'm at that point already where I work with a hedge fund that manage $100 million deals. So I could do it myself, or I could do it with my father-in-law, that is my mentor, right? Yeah. If I'm gonna do a small deal, I will first guide them to get into the credit, do all that. So I will get them with my partner, fix their credit, do all that. Then when they're ready, I have my partners in the broker to do little deals, right?
Yeah.
And I will tell them like, okay, this is what we need to do. I already figured the plan with them. You need to get a deal that it needs to be like low risk. We're gonna build a property, whatever, and then they do that with an agent. So that was how I was doing like way before. I was doing that personally because I didn't know more.
Yeah.
But once I keep leveling up in this game, I'm not gonna settle for less. Even that I'll still provide the value to anybody by providing my connections and my team in the broker space because they are actively looking for deals, doing sales and buys for people.
So if I wanted to get started with you, for example, right? Because I'm very excited about like buying up a bunch of, even in Mexico. I went to Mexico.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to buy stuff over there too.
Where do you go? Tulum. I seen the projects. They're good. They're
amazing.
good.
Tulum is amazing.
And Tulum it's just like you mentioned in Miami, like for the rentals, for all the Airbnbs, they're moving. I seen those deals. I have people they are in Mexico. If you need people, I know some.
I'll go through you. So if I was supposed to start with you right now, like what would I need? What would be the thing that I need to start?
We will have to do a plan and figure what is your goal. Like you from what I hear, you want to own like properties that will be out there in short-term rentals. We will out there renting out, right? You want cash cow. You want something generating cash. You don't. So here's the thing with, for example, Mexico. Let's talk about Mexico. Over there, you will get a property that will cash cow, but it won't appreciate as much as it will appreciate here. So once we figure your plan, and let's say that you're thinking long term, I will tell you, so because we don't know what will happen in the whole world, I will tell you, have your money secure here, and I will tell you, do the same thing of Airbnb in here. Why? Because you're more secure if the property won't depreciate out of nowhere, because we don't know. And it will keep generating cash flow with the economy that we have in Miami, in Florida. And it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but if you think about it, instead of getting like 3 houses there, you will get 1 here and generate almost the same. So it's basically like, instead of getting more work, you're getting less work for the same amount of profit or the same amount of money. And the appreciation here, it will be way higher because it's in dollars. Over there is the peso in Mexico. So you just like in Forex, like the currencies. So it doesn't move as much as the dollar. The dollar is a dominant in the exchange. So that's why also it affects the real estate space.
Because even like, for example, this Memorial Weekend, every property is booked. Every car is booked, every property is booked. It's just so crazy, right? To see, man, this is not just about Memorial Weekend, but it's just overall, like, I see properties that are, if you go on, for example, Airbnb, you see properties booked out months at a time. So I do understand the volume here versus a lot of other places.
You see the opportunity, I know.
I see that, and it's Miami after all, right? So what are some of the other investments you have? You're
like myself?
Yeah, for yourself.
Well, I'm really into crypto right now. I'm lately, I see that it's just a market cycle that I already went in once, and right now it's gonna come again. So definitely crypto. I'm into real estate, but more into deals with partners. So it's called a joint venture, where I come in and I'm in the deal with an investor. Well, the companies, I have the dog service company. Then I used to be partnered up with a partner of mine for a marketing agency. And I've been thinking about going back at it because of the brand that I'm building. And I was really into like networking and all that. So it's combined with the connections that I'm trying to make. And this is why I'm working on my podcast, working on my brand, working on content, because at the end of the day, once you're known by something, you're known by something. So as an entrepreneur, it's cool, do it all. But if somebody knows you for something, they're going to be out there like, okay, when I see that, it's like, oh, I know that man, he owns it. Just like Elon Musk. You think about Tesla, you think about Elon Musk. You think about Facebook, Zuckerberg. So it's the same thing, building that brand and people getting to know you by that. So if you are the best at that, everybody's gonna be like, wow, this man, he's the man. I need to go to him because I need him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to focus on.
Are you related to Elon Musk, by the way?
No, not at all. But when I started, a couple friends used to call me like Glen Musk, and that's why I keep it like that. Yeah. And since I got verified, I couldn't change it, so I was like, fuck it, I'm rocking it.
Also, your last name is not actually Musk.
No, it's not Musk.
What's your last name?
It's Inagas.
Inagas.
Yes.
So Glen Inagas.
Yes, my name down the ticker, it's my whole name. That's what you need to do to get verified. Yeah. And I mean, you stay like that because I can't change it.
That's amazing, bro. That's amazing. But you look like an Antonio, though.
Like yeah, your friend was like, you don't look like Glen. Like, what do you mean?
Antonio from Venezuela.
I mean, like, what the hell?
Yeah, I've never met a Venezuelan with a Glen as a name.
Yeah, no, actually, like my full name, I like to get called Glen, but my full name is Glen Sky.
Glen Sky.
So my mom wanted to combine the Glen with Sky. Like the meaning of sky is in Spanish is cielo.
Cielo.
So she wanted to combine it in Glen Sky.
Yeah.
No Venezuelan at all. It looks like Russian or something, or even American. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's just amazing how a person from a different culture, background, country.
Yes.
Is able to actually come to America and just, dominate.
And take advantage of the opportunities out here.
Yeah. In terms of like that whole credit thing though, for like a lot of foreigners, a big thing, because I had that difficulty too, right?
Okay.
Where accessing credit, I had to learn and not to go through it. Like the most difficult.
The structure, you need to structure yourself because you're foreign, I know.
Yeah. So how would you recommend somebody like a foreigner to make, for example, your partnership easier, so that
they can get access to more credit and more stuff? Well, I will tell you, let's talk about the book, and I will mention that after. When I started, yes, because the information that I got in the book is actually quite like eye-opening for a bunch of people that haven't heard of this. Yeah. Because the truth is that we're in a system in United States. United States is a whole corporation. Yeah. Right? And they have different systems, like the educational one, the financial one, and that's the one that I'm gonna talk right now. Just like they print money every day, right? And the banks borrow this money from the Federal Reserve. And then after that, we borrow from the banks. And let me explain what just happened there. You, as the creditor, you are paying debt with debt. Yeah. And that makes no sense. This is why United States is creating so much debt, because we have access to this credit because of the credit card, the social security number, or in your case, the EIN, right? Yeah. That's your employee identification number. And that's how you actually get access to capital. You need to give to the banks this number so they can get access to this capital. And they're just, in these contracts that we sign, we give them the power of attorney, we give them the power to control our securities. That's what actually money is. There are securities like bonds and all that. Yeah. That's the real money. And the way that I would do it is just like them. They create a whole history, right? That it could be fake. Because being honest with you, everything here in America, it could be bought. If you have the money and you have the connections, you can get everything done and structured for you. Meaning that if you have a business, you can buy trade lines. You know what trade lines are? Yeah. And they could be like 20, 30 years, like older than you. The trade lines are basically accounts that you buy. You buy an account that has like a history of 10 years. They've been paying off that account, and you just pay for it, and you get you get it in your report, you get it in your business credit. And this way the banks will trust you, because you're like, okay, I've been paying this account for this long, I should be able to get this amount of money. So these are little tricks that you could do. Same for cars. If you're gonna get cars, you can buy a trade line that is basically a car that you paid off. And it could be any type of car. And that's how America works. Like it's like a credit partner, basically. Because I actually learned about that term in terms of But there is brokers for this. Like there is brokers that they can get you any kind of trade line that you want.
Yeah.
You don't have to like find somebody that has 40 years old and then they've been paying this to get a cosign. No, now you just get a broker and whatever is your goal, you get the trade line.
Yeah, I actually learned about that the other day. It's from a guy that I met, introduced me to a guy that deals credit, right? And based on my business generates a lot of cash flow, right?
Yes.
So when I was looking at the statements, I was like, bro, I can legit get you access to over 10, 20 mil right now just based on your statements, right?
Yeah.
And if, say for instance, me operating with my ITIN, for example, right? As a foreigner or any foreigner operating with their ITIN, a lot of institutions might not want to give you capital directly, you know, even with your EIN, right? So there's a way to actually, for example, institutions, like for example, a broker will put you onto a credit partner. The credit partner would basically co-sign on whatever you're doing. And then based on that co-signing, you're able to actually get access to that capital using your EIN and stuff like that. So it's just amazing how one connection, you meet one person, then you're able to learn this and then you're able to utilize and then you're able to actually start a trust, start utilizing trade lines to get faster access to building up a credit or fast access to capital and stuff like that, you know. So
just like you do with the traders. Yeah. It's kind of the same way, but it's just in this system of United States.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of it.
Yeah, it's like the system though. It's like, you know.
This is why my book is called the Glitch in the Game of Life. I talk about how we're living in a game and you just need, the way to win this game is by knowing the rules and being connected. By hard working, outworking everybody out there, because let's be honest, like there is people that are trying to make it as well. And if you're trying to make it, you need to outwork everybody.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I see myself with my family. I'm really like attached to my family, because since I came here, I left for 7 years and I didn't spend even like one birthday or anything. And I'm really attached since I was able to go back when I got my green card and I got the paper, so I could stay here, go there. I literally got like different status, right? And I can operate whichever benefits me at any time. So with the banks, I talk in a different way. Like I'm basically a whole structure and in a different identity. When I go to the airport and I'm going to see my family, I'm just a regular citizen. Literally, like, that's how you play. That's how you play the game. You need to just be diversified in your identities and in your whole legal structure. Same thing with wealth. You need to like diversify everything, so nobody knows what you own, but you control everything. Yeah, that's how they do it.
I've actually learned that over time, over the years. You know, to not every asset you have should be in your name. Or not, let me not say asset, but just anything. Like, not everything you have should be in your name. You don't have to be attached to everything that you've been doing. Sometimes, you know, and I realize a lot of wealthy people do this too, where they make a lot of money without having ownership of anything, you know? And that is how I've chosen to live my life, where I'm just basically offloading a lot of assets that I usually have, you know? So setting up trust, setting up different businesses, you know, utilizing resources that I have and stuff like that. And then even the credit partner situation, like that opened my mind and like made me worse, not want to put myself on anything, right? I don't need to have that. I just need to be able to borrow, for example, a Ferrari or a Lambo, you get me? And somebody else owns it and
they have the liability.
You know, and not just the liability alone, because I would still be the one, for example, if I owning it without actually owning it, I would still be the one, my company still be the one paying it off, but it's a situation where I'm able to get access faster, easier, because I'm utilizing their credit.
So you're investing in your lifestyle?
Basically, yeah, I'm investing in my lifestyle.
That's the way.
Like that, you know. So before we go, what are probably like the top 5 tips that you would have for, you know, anybody wanting to get into real estate or anything crypto, for example, or anything else that you're doing? Or
well, anything in general. Anybody starting out in entrepreneurship. I would tell them to first get their mindset right. Get the right vision, because we need to be focused on providing instead of taking. We need to be focused on being a creator instead of a consumer. That's the right mindset. Then from there, find if they want to get into real estate. Well, you need to study how it works. How is the system on real estate? Because every industry has different systems.
Yeah.
You need to study how everything works and where do you want to be positioned and where do you want to provide value.
Yeah.
And let's say if they're entrepreneurs, I guess they own different companies. They want to do different stuff and have different streams of income. So yeah, starting with the mindset, definitely.
Mindset. So let me ask you, right? In terms of like starting with the mindset, how does somebody develop a mindset like your mindset?
By looking at themselves and understanding that they want more and they are capable of achieving more.
Yeah.
They are more of what they just see right now. The results that they're getting right now, it's because of what they believe, what they taught themselves, and what the actions they are taking. So maybe they had the dream or they really aim for, you know, a bunch of money and freedom. They probably want to help their families. All of us want to be successful. And the thing is that we don't believe it's strong enough in that we can achieve that.
Yeah.
Because we don't have it yet.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you can achieve it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of doing that switch. And you will have to take some sacrifices. You might have to distance yourself from your family. You might have to do something to get that.
Yeah.
But is it bad enough? If you want it bad enough, you can go and get it. It's just a matter of doing that switch.
Yeah. Do you offer mentorship
Myself?
to people that want to get into real estate?
I wouldn't call it mentorship. It's more of a community where I share with them about crypto. I share with them how to start in their own business. I share with them some stuff about the system. I show them all this stuff, how it works in the Federal Reserve, all this stuff that I just told you about. And yeah, you could say like I share information with my community.
Yeah.
They also share information with each other. They mastermind with each other. That's how we are.
How do people get access to this community?
In what?
How
Access?
do people get access to this community?
Actually, it's correlated with the book. So it will be like a game. It's located in Discord. They will go and join the free section where they become a student. So for me, everybody needs to start as a student.
Yeah.
We all need to be a student of life.
Yeah.
And learn every time. Doesn't matter at what level you are, you need to always be learning. That's the only way that you can improve.
Yeah.
If you're not learning, how can you improve? What, like you're celebrating, you're out there, you're not leveling up, right?
Yeah.
So they start in the level 1 as a student. They have a bunch of free information. They have access to all the free members. You know, I'm active there. Then they go to the pay section, where there is entrepreneurs, there is people already making some deals, making money. They do different stuff. I have e-commerce guys, all type of guys that they want to structure themselves, that they want to learn about real estate, that they want to invest in the long term. They want to be diversified, right?
Yeah.
And then there is the final level, that's the elites. I'm still building that up. This community is being built for 3 months. We have almost 2,000 members.
Yeah.
And the elites will be the final level where the only way to be an elite is by applying.
Yeah.
And you need to make more than $1 million a year. And the people there, they make more than $1 million a year. We are surrounded by elites. That's the name of the role. It's called an elite.
I think I'm gonna apply.
So we will do masterminds where we connect with all each other, and let's say that we pick a topic and we talk about marketing. And why would I want to do this? Because we as entrepreneurs, as successful people, we all have different experiences, different experiences and different levels in this game.
Yeah.
So if we share with each other and we help each other, we're growing all together as a community. That's what I'm trying to build.
Yeah. So I see you doing that, right? But what is the ultimate goal of doing that?
Well, for me, to provide value to people and also business, because it's doing business for me and business for them. I get them to connect with each other.
Yeah.
And basically I'm creating a marketplace where they can even, they can learn from each other and also find clients like, oh, I know this guy in the community. He can get you connected with credit.
Yeah.
So that's why my partner comes in. He got some information there and he's teaching, you know, like that's how it works.
Let me ask you, no, I want to ask you something very important.
For sure.
Right? Because some people, I've gotten some questions, right, for you, right? Just a few questions.
Sure.
That I wanted to ask you from the start of the pod, right? Now, as an entrepreneur, what challenges have you faced in growing your business and how have you overcome them?
Well, like the one that I told you about my partner, I faced that, like, how could you call it? Like, it was a setback, you know? It put me back in the position of being an operation on the business. And then how I overcome it by having the right mindset, by putting myself right back on track.
Yeah.
I checked myself and I said, like, look, the only way to get back at this, because let's be honest, you don't want to downgrade once you're in a high level, right? When you are making 200 grand and now you're making 50 grand, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know? So it's like getting back to that persona, that hustler, that, okay, analyzing the situation and taking the right decisions.
Yeah.
That's how I did it to go back, get back at it.
I was actually watching one of your videos on Instagram, and I saw you have like 1.7 million views, right? That's one of your reels. No, just saw a question here, right? How do you leverage the power of social media, particularly Instagram, in your real estate business? What strategies have worked best for you in terms of reaching clients and showcasing properties?
So I actually don't use social media to like sell real estate or anything like that, but I do it to build relationships.
Yeah.
As you can see, that's how I met Jace. I met a bunch of people there. They want to do podcasts with me. They invite me to events, or I even invite them to networking events.
Yeah.
And this is how you can connect with a bunch of people being nowhere. So that means that you can be everywhere without being there, right? And that's the power of social media. You upload it once and that video it's out there and people can watch it as many times as they want and learn about you. It's basically like a whole persona. They can learn a little bit about yourself, and you're building this brand where people are getting to know you. If you want to provide value, you can provide value. If you want to show your lifestyle, you can show your lifestyle. You can do whatever you want. You are a creator. And whatever you want to put out there, that's what they're going to get, right?
Yeah. So how do you stay motivated and innovative in such a competitive field? And are there any habits and routines that have helped you stay productive and creative?
Yes, there is something that I do every morning, and that is to go to the beach and be grateful about the basic stuff that I have. That's just like food, my family, I'm healthy. There's basically the basic stuff, because that puts me in a state of gratitude. So I can start my day with a high frequency state. So everything that I start talking about, everything that I start thinking about, everything that I'm planning, I have a higher chance, just because I believe in the law of attraction. So if I'm in a high frequency, everything that I'm thinking about, I'm gonna get it. There is nothing that is gonna stop me from getting it, right? And I could say that's one of my secrets, because I literally have no secrets. It's just like that one habit that I really love. And the other habit that I have is discipline. Whatever am I doing, I need to be disciplined on it, because that's the only way that I can succeed in that thing that I'm trying to get.
Yeah, funny enough. You spoke about spirituality a while ago in terms of like just the law of attraction and just the universe and stuff like that. But I tell you about a podcast with a guy that is heavily into this. I think it's like G33 Academy.
Oh, I seen him, the numerology guy.
Yeah, the numerology guy. Yes. So, you know, like the life part numbers and stuff like that. So I actually interviewing him tomorrow.
Nice.
And I'm big on like
numerology.
I actually just understood the term, but I'm a numbers guy, and in terms of like the world and everything, it all goes back to a number, right?
It's time.
Time.
Right now, the precious asset that we have is time.
Yeah.
And what it is numbers.
Yeah, that podcast is gonna be amazing.
No, that's gonna be fire. He's really good. He's really good.
Yeah. So, what is your vision for the impact you want to make in real estate and beyond? How do you define success in your career? Like just overall, how do you define success?
I define success by freedom. the freedom of choice. If I want to do something, I will get it and I will get it done.
Yeah.
Because I see that most of the people are trapped in whatever the system or whatever mental system they have, right? And for me, it's just the freedom of helping others create wealth, create this financial freedom that we can achieve. And for others, that they just want to diversify it and put their money to work.
Yeah.
It just depends on who am I helping with or who am I providing value, but that's the idea.
Yeah. All right, bro. All right, I had one last question.
Tell me.
I'm going to ask you the toughest question.
Throw it.
Right? I'm not sure. Let me. Oh, funny enough.
What?
This is very important because for example, this is not even from here, right? Because I have a bunch of questions, but this is not even from here. I remember, for example, my most memorable trade and experience was when I was broke, hungry, never had anything, and I made like $2,000. I was able to actually buy food and put money in my pocket, right? What was your most memorable investment and experience that no matter what experience you have in your life, that is the one that stands the tallest?
Well, as we started talking in the podcast, it was about experiences, right?
Yeah.
And actually, funny enough, 2 years ago, I went to Colombia for my birthday, and I went to visit a partner of mine that he was investing on real estate here, but he owned a park over there. He owned like an attraction park, and he had this vision of building a huge, like, you know how in Orlando they have all the roller coasters and all that? Basically a whole big attraction with a hotel, all that. And for me, that was one of the best investments I have done, because I went there, I had the experience. He got the park, like a little one, where you have paintball, where you can go and shoot, where you can spend time with the family, right? And it was a little business he got, but it was a good business. And he just had a big vision, and he got a lot of people that believe in him, and that I was one of them.
Yeah.
And I would say that was like one of my best investments because of the experience I have and the relationship that I've been able to get from him and from that specific investment.
Yeah, so each one helped the other basically, right?
What's up?
Each person helped the other. So you help him, he helps you in some type of way.
Exactly.
Right? So where can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram as Glen Musk, and some of my social medias, they have my whole name. I have different profiles because that's the way they would build a brand.
Yeah.
And they have my full name. They have CEO Glen Sky, Glen Sky Inaga. So, but on my main one is Glen Musk. They can find me as Glen Musk.
You gotta show me that $1.7 million trick.
What?
Like the $1.7 million, the 1.7 million views trick, right? Where you're able to actually get like so much views on your videos.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
It's just about learning about marketing. At that point, I was doing videos in properties. If you go like, you scroll down in my reels and go really down, you will see I was just recording on properties and putting text where people read and they match with the sound, and like I use like trending sounds. At that point, I was just like really focused on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm more of like cuts of the podcast, collaborating, like doing lifestyles, like different ones.
Yeah. So what are some other things you're into outside of real estate and like dogs and stuff? Are you into cars and what are you into?
Well, actually, funny enough, a few years back, I used to be really into cars, and the point that I was like fixing them and like just like taking like. I'm always like up to something, right? And at that point, I was young. I wanted to have fun, and it was a cool experience to fix a G37. Basically, it has the same engine as a GTR, and we used to do takeovers in the highway in I-95. They I don't know if you guys heard of the takeovers they done, but we literally were like 200 cars. We stopped the traffic and just doing donuts and crazy stuff like that. That was like when I was younger and crazy, you know. But I still like cars. Right now I have like a normal BMW, a 340, and I own a Porsche that I rent out, and I have fun whenever I have it back, right? So yeah, I'm definitely into cars. I love cars, love watches, love soon let's aim for the private jet, right?
Private yacht.
Yeah,
private yacht, private jet, private.
We don't sell it. We don't sell for less. We get the best of the best.
Yeah, but because that in on itself too, like even yacht, like yacht it's its own market. It's like a real estate market itself, you know. Like you have a yacht market, you have a what else? You have a car market, all type of stuff. So you plan to like get into all of those different things too?
Well, as you mentioned, you invest on your lifestyle. So I will definitely do an analysis. I will definitely dive into it to learn how it works.
Yeah.
So I could get the smartest person in the room to be in my room.
Yeah. And that's funny because even like getting the smartest person in the room to be in your room, right? For example, being here, I'm getting into supercars heavily, right? And I was able to actually meet people that have already done it, have multiple cars, actually know how they actually do it, right?
Yes.
And I'm able to actually, for example, I'm doing podcasts with them and stuff like that too, where they're teaching me, like just conversation. It's just so cool how people at a certain level, they're just the coolest. Like for example, you're very cool, right?
Thanks, man.
And it's like you're able to actually learn so much from them in terms of like, okay, how to really not lose on a car as an investment. Because most people look at cars and be like, oh, cars is not an investment, you know, right? And I mean
they don't know. They don't know the market out there.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a side of cars where they depreciate, and they're really not in the market. They use like a piece of metal.
Yeah.
But there is some cars that they hold their value, and if you know the market, you rent them out. There's ways that you can capitalize on it. Because I know a kid, he's 19 years old, and he owns a Lamborghini, and he rents them out, and that Lamborghini pays for his apartment.
Yeah.
He lives by himself, like 17 years old. Like, what the hell, bro? You see the world that we live in. It's just a matter of believing in yourself. That's it.
People are making a lot more younger, right?
Yes.
You didn't tell us the age though.
I'm 21. Why?
Touch it, bro. The one is 21.
Why?
The one is 21, bro.
Why? Don't tell. What happened? Tell me.
Bro,
what happened with the numbers? Tell me.
No, it's just so crazy, bro. Like, a lot of people, like a lot of 21-year-olds right now would be scared to take risks. You know, not thinking the way you're thinking right now, focus on only school. Oh, I'm gonna get into real estate, but I'm gonna go into real estate via I gotta go to college, I gotta go to whatever, versus, and their parents are telling them that too, right? Versus finding a man like Glen Musk and being like, hey man, mentor me, I'll pay you the cost. So the same amount that I'm paying for college tuition, which is probably like
it's even expensive.
It's even more expensive, right? When they could probably pay you whatever you cost, and then you actually learn from real people's experience. That's a part of why I actually started the Billionaire Podcast, you know, like I rather, you know, because my auntie still, you know, I'm in my 20s still, right? But my auntie is like, she always telling me, and not just my auntie, but people in general always telling me, bro, I'm making freaking, look at this. I'm in this, I brought this account up from 5,000 to over 50,000 US dollars right now. Well, it's at 43 right now, but it's gonna go back up, right? And because I'm still in this trade, it's just fluctuating, right? But this is the money that I would probably pay a professor to teach me over a year period or so, you get me? And it's kind of crazy, you know, and how I learned about Forex is that I saw it on the internet initially, like I saw it on the internet, started playing around with it, right? You're into real estate, you know, rather than going to college or going to whatever, I would much rather to come and say, hey man, how much you're gonna charge me to teach me that? Because as you were saying earlier, the information is outdated. A lot of them that are teaching real estate are teaching from a book inside the school, and they're never really able to actually apply it in real life, you know, because a big part of real estate is being able to have certain type of charisma and being able to, you know, communicate certain information and talk and create deals and stuff like that. Most people who are going to school to do this are not able to actually have that type of charisma or, you know, just have a conversation, you know? And it's a situation where they graduate and it's like they get a reality check like, oh shit, I just waited all
now I'm in real life, what am I gonna do with this information? It's a system. It puts you to a track record, just like a doctor. Like they're paying for a career to, like, I don't know, 5-6 years, and they're paying for that information, and they're gonna exchange it for, I don't know, 200,000 a year, 300,000. But that's it. There's not much you could do. But as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you're limitless. Is as how much you want to make. Is okay. Put the work.
You choose your earnings, man. So
Exactly.
So, bro, thanks for being on the Billionaire
Nah,
Podcast,
man.
bro.
Thanks for the invite.
This is amazing. This is Glen Musk. You know, he's related to Elon Musk, but he's saying that he's not related. But I believe that he's related to Glen Musk, right? So,
thanks, man.
Be sure to follow him on Instagram at Glen Musk.
Glen Musk, yes.
Right? And what are your other social medias?
I'm in Twitter as Glen Musk as well. In TikTok, Glen Musk. And then on YouTube, the name is Glitches because that's the name of my community. Glitches. So I don't have a personal one yet, but they're the community one. It's going as Glitches. And the
following on those too. The following is big on those as well too.
It's like 1,000 subscribers. I started as so little like right now.
Yeah.
I started when I started the community, the book, and all that is coming together.
Yeah. Man, I'm proud of you, bro. You're 21, right? And this is a major inspiration to a lot of 21-year-olds, especially back in your home country, as well as my home country, because a lot of them are watching this right now. And the thing is, people are, and I'm glad you even said it and you said the age, because a lot of people are of the mindset that they need to be at a certain age to be making certain amount of money or to be doing certain type of deals, right? Like 50, 60 and stuff like that. And I want people to know that, hey, there's no age on wealth or growth or success, right? And you can achieve anything you want to achieve as long as you push yourself, as long as you go out there, you take the risk, and you just go and just make up your mind and believe and just say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and actually get it done, man. So I'm very proud of you, man. Thanks for being on the podcast. This was amazing.
Thanks again, man. Thanks.
You know, I'm going to be learning a bunch of stuff from him as well too, in terms of like just real estate and plays and stuff like that. And like, I'm always open to learning. Like, there's not because I'm making a certain amount of money or at a certain position, you know, means that I'm too big to learn anything from anybody, right? So I'm always open to learning, and you know, I'm like a sponge, you know. So I'm gonna.
That's the mindset.
Yeah, that's the mindset. I'm gonna be eating you up. I'm gonna be, you know, sharing knowledge, whatever way, you know. We'll probably 100%. Do some investments too. 100%. You never know, you know.
Yes.
So thanks for being on the pod. Big up yourself. Jamaicans say big up yourself. You know what to say that? I know you're Venezuelan. Big up yourself.
Big up yourself. That's what you guys said?
Yeah, we said big up yourself. That means, you know, you the man.
Say it in your language.
Jamaican, like big up yourself.
But that's how you say it in Jamaican.
Big up yourself.
Give up yourself.
Big up yourself. Big up yourself. You can say it.
Give up yourself.
No.
It's not give up yourself.
No, big.
Oh, like big up yourself.
Big up yourself.
Yeah,
right?
big up yourself.
So big up yourself. Big up yourself.
Big up yourself.
Yes.
Big up yourself.
Yes, bro. So thanks. I taught you something. You know, you taught me a bunch of stuff because I was actually like there, because I've been having a lot of conversation, especially like with credit and with real estate and just real estate plays here and where to buy and stuff like that. And you actually came on, you actually confirmed a lot of stuff with me. I know we're gonna have conversations privately and stuff like that, bro. But
it's all meant to be.
It's all meant to be. Bro. So it's crazy, bro. Respect for being on the pod.
No, right? Thanks, man. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, man. So that was the Billionaire Podcast with Glen Musk. You know, y'all gonna enjoy this. Well,
we dropped some value out here.
Yeah, we dropped some value. Yeah. Out here, you know? So that was the Billionaire Podcast with Glen Musk. You know, comment in the comment section what you like about the podcast. You know, be sure to follow Glen Musk at Glen Musk on all social media platforms and Glitches. You know, that's his community. Take advantage. He has a book about to be released.
Yes.
You know, so by the time this podcast is out, it should be released. You can just hit him up, you know, for the timeline for that, you know, and just try to take in as much information as possible. Go through his Instagram page, his social media content, his content on the internet, and try to learn as much as possible, right? So, Billionaire Forever. Thanks for watching the podcast. Be sure to share, like, you know, and comment in the comment section. See you guys on the next pod. You know, we're going all over the world. We're interviewing the biggest, the best people in the game. Respect, bro. Yeah.